New York never slept, but that night it felt like it was holding its breath. Ethan Cole stood alone on the Brooklyn Bridge, the city glowing behind him like a life he no longer trusted. At 36, he had everything that once mattered: an award-winning journalism career, recognition, a future lined with promise. And yet, all of it felt hollow now. He was running, not from danger, but from truth. His phone buzzed. One unread message. "You don't know who to trust anymore." He deleted it without opening. That was when he heard footsteps. Measured, unhurried. He turned. She stood under a flickering streetlight, dark coat, wind pulling strands of her hair loose. There was nothing extraordinary about her appearance, and yet everything about her demanded attention. "Do you always look like you're about to disappear?" she asked calmly. "Or is tonight special?" Ethan frowned. "Do I know you?" She smiled faintly. "No, that's the point." Her name was Clara Hayes, and that was the first lie between them. They walked without direction. That's how it began. She spoke like someone who chose her words carefully, as if every sentence mattered. She asked nothing about his work, his past, his name. Instead, she asked questions that cut closer. "Do you believe people change?" she asked, "or do they just get better at hiding who they are?" Ethan laughed softly. "I think people survive. Change is optional." She stopped walking, looked at him with unsettling clarity. That's a dangerous belief. It should have ended there. Instead, they shared coffee at a 24-hour diner, then another night, and another. Clara felt familiar in a way that scared him, like someone he had known in another life. She never stayed until morning. She never shared details, and yet she listened like she already knew his secrets. 3 weeks later, Ethan's world cracked open. His exposé, one he had buried months ago, was published without his consent. Names he had promised to protect were exposed. Powerful people were furious. His apartment was broken into. Nothing was stolen, except his sense of safety. The message was clear: we can reach you. That night he went looking for Clara. She wasn't at the diner. Her phone was disconnected. For the first time, fear whispered her name. They met again, by accident, or so it seemed, at Penn Station. She was different, tense, alert. "You're in danger," she said before he could speak. "You disappeared," he replied, "so I guess we're even." Silence thickened. Then she said the words that changed everything. "My name isn't Clara." She confessed in fragments. Her real name was Elena Cross, former intelligence analyst, whistleblower, a woman who had helped expose a corruption network tied to Ethan's unfinished investigation. She hadn't found him by chance. She had been watching him, waiting to see if he would run or fight. "You used me," he said quietly. "Yes," she admitted, "and then I stopped wanting to." They fled New York before dawn, north, toward the coast of Maine, a place with more silence than shadows. A borrowed car, burner phones, rules they didn't speak aloud. Don't trust anyone. Don't stay long. Don't fall in love. They broke the third rule first. In the quiet of a rented cabin, something softened between them, not passion, but intimacy, the kind built on shared fear and unspoken understanding. One night, during a storm, Elena whispered, "If this ends badly, I'm sorry." Ethan didn't answer. He kissed her instead. Not desperate, certain. The threat found them anyway. A black SUV on a fog-covered road. A warning shot through the trees. A message carved into the cabin door. Finish the story or disappear forever. Elena revealed the final truth. She had one remaining file, one that could destroy everyone involved, including her, including Ethan. You still want the truth? She asked. He nodded. Then we tell it together. They released the evidence anonymously. The fallout was immediate. Arrests, headlines, denials, and retaliation. The final chase ended on a cliff overlooking the Atlantic, sirens in the distance. A man with a gun and nothing left to lose. Ethan stood between him and Elena. For the first time in his life, fear didn't win. The gun fired, but not at them. 6 months later, the world had moved on. Ethan lived quietly now, writing fiction instead of truth. Elena stood beside him on a Maine beach, the wind familiar, the silence kind. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "Loving you?" he replied. She smiled. "I meant telling the truth." He took her hand. Same answer. The ocean roared its approval. Some stories don't end, they just finally breathe.